I once made a claim that Canyonlands National Park was better than the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon must have heard me and didn't take too kindly to the remark. This visit? I don't even know where to begin. Well, I guess we will just go straight to the moment that changed it all for me. Yes, I know that is a bird. But let me tell you why this encounter was so special. And let's roll the film from when I first spotted it. And yes, this felt like I was on a National Geographic special. This bird is no ordinary bird. This is the endangered California condor that nearly went extinct back in 1982, as there was estimated to only be 22 birds left. But through extensive human efforts, the species survived, and I'm sure glad they did. These gentle giants are some of the rarest birds in the world and are only found in the southwest US, in California, Utah, and Arizona. Although years ago there was evidence of their presence across most of the United States. Yes, even in New York. And I say giant because these birds can weigh up to 23 pounds and have a wingspan of up to 9.5 feet. That's right, that's bigger than you. 9.5 feet. If you can try to imagine that. I know I read about that and was like, oh yeah, that's big. But let me tell you in person, that's big. So California condors can live up into their 60s, and so juveniles are aged typically up until they are 6 years old. You could tell which ones are adults by the orange-colored head. Juveniles have a black-colored head and molten gray feathers. The one we are seeing today was a young one because of the black-colored head. Once these birds reach maturation, they search for a mate, which can happen between 6 and 8 years old for them. And once they do find one, they mate for life. Romantic, right? They are only able to lay one egg at a time, and they nest in the side of cliffs, away from predators on the ground. When the egg hatches, the young bird is dependent on its mom for a year and a half, and the pair typically won't mate again until the baby leaves the nest. You could see how a population could decrease with this slow reproduction rate. Condors are purely scavengers, similar to vultures, meaning they only eat dead large animals. But unlike vultures who use their sense of smell to find food, the California condor uses its vision to find large mammals. This means condors travel a lot and will only stay in one area if they are nesting. Otherwise, these birds will travel hundreds of miles in search of food. Some of the biggest threats to California condors, as well as other large birds, is lead poisoning from the food they eat, as well as power lines, habitat degradation, and poisoning from coyote traps. This can be a result from farmers setting traps or spent ammunition to protect their cattle and crops so that we all have food to eat across the United States. These birds are scavengers though, so they eat what they find lying around. And when they eat something that has been poisoned, that unfortunately passes along to them with fatal consequences. This young condor had no fear and flew right up to me. I, however, was petrified, with this bird being bigger than me and was flying so close to me. I also didn't realize how friendly these birds were at the time. It was amazingly terrifying. This is dangerous for the bird, though. The Grand Canyon sees anywhere from 4 to 6 million visitors per year. The exposure to humans could be dangerous because if the condor leaves the national protected lands, things could happen to them if they don't have a natural fear of humans. This is actually something that can happen to birds who are bred in captivity. There is a phase in the younger years of the bird where they imprint. This means that they will form their identity to whoever is caring for them, meaning the condor could identify more as a human than a bird. To prevent this from happening, caretakers would use hand puppets shaped like the head of a condor to feed them, or they would try to have a condor care for them. But like I mentioned before, the condors won't mate when caring for young. This is why they would separate them. to encourage more eggs to be laid. The reality is, the world has changed, and it will never go back to the way it once was before humans inhabited the land. I mean, even trying to imagine that condors used to be in the northeast US is impossible for me to imagine, as now there are so many suburban towns and cities and what used to be forests. But like I said, we can't go back. The best we can do is protect and be considerate of what is left. We are, after all, sharing this world with so many other humans and creatures, and to leave things the way we found it, or even better than we found it, is all we can hope to do in our lifetime. Just remember, no one is perfect. And as we try to make the world a better place, remember to show compassion, forgiveness, and understanding to each other, as we all learn from our mistakes and change to make things better. And yes, I know that was a lot for being a bird video, but look at that cute face. It just moved me so much.
Okay, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. Wow.
From human efforts, the California condor population has been restored to around 400 birds today, compared to 22 back in 1982. Their population is closely monitored, and I feel so humbled to have had this one-on-one experience with this adorable creature. Watching the condor fly through the Grand Canyon looks so natural. One of the largest birds in the world in one of the biggest canyons. And then little me, 1 in 8 billion humans, a long way from home, graced with the most beautiful and rarest sights in the world.
I have never seen the trail this empty. This is awesome. Definitely come when it's below freezing. You guys, this bird is creeping on me. No. Nope. Hey, 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 hey.